Hello, everyone, and welcome to. I am really happy to see you all here in the virtual setting. I can really feel the buzz that we have created, and of course also with this beautiful background that we have in Arena 2036. It feels so good to be back, I can tell you, and I'm really happy to welcome to today's event. What I can already promise is that today it's going to be as exciting, at least as exciting as last night's football game against Hungary, with a big difference, of course, that the excitement will be positive throughout the whole event and not like yesterday, more the anxious, let's say, excitement that we had for 80 minutes. Who am I? My name is Adrian. I'm a corporate partnerships manager here at Startup Autobahn and also the account manager for Bosch. So that's why I'm especially excited to be here. And I will be moderating for the next 2 hours. And I can tell you that after almost 7 months of planning, I'm really happy to kick off our last meetup of Program 10, our anniversary edition. And maybe coming to the topic of driving electrification. I think I can say that with approximately 10 million electric vehicles already driving on the roads worldwide, I think it's not too bold to say that EVs are here to stay. Actually, in Europe alone, according to the VDA, roughly 1.3 million new EVs were registered in 2020, which was actually a 143% growth to the amount of the EVs that were sold the year before. And I think it's not a secret that our two co-hosting partners today, Bosch and Porsche, played a crucial role in this significant growth. And that's why I'm really happy to be co-hosting the event with them. But of course, we will also have 10 startups who, with their technology, also contribute to this significant growth. And I'm really psyched to have them here today, pitching in the areas of charging experience, of charge point monetization, batteries, and home energy solutions. And I would say before we hear the welcoming words from our co-hosts from Bosch and Porsche, I would like to quickly give you an overview of what has already happened today and what will happen in the next 2 hours. So, started actually already yesterday, but also today again, our anchor partners had the chance to meet those 10 startups in the area of driving electrification in 20 minutes long, one-to-one individual meetings to really get to know their technology. And now these 10 startups actually will pitch again during today's meetup. That's I'm really glad why we'll have them here again. And of course, next to the startups, we'll have some amazing keynotes, which I will come to in a second as well, to really complement the superbness of this event. And then what I'm also already really looking forward to is that we will have our normal virtual Remo networking starting at 6:25. And now going a little bit more detailed in the agenda of today's meetup. Maybe going on the next slide. So we will first have some nice welcoming words from Anja from Porsche, Sebastian from Bosch, as well as from Sascha. Then we will have an amazing keynote from Katrin, who is a Vice President Procurement for Electrics and Electronic Smart Mobility at Porsche. And then we will have our first tech session with 5 startup pitches around the already mentioned areas, charging experience and charge point monetization, which will be followed by another amazing keynote from a key representative from Bosch by Carolin Reichert, who is the Vice President Connected Mobility Solutions in Mobility at Bosch. And then we will have our second part of the startup pitches, this time with a focus on battery data and second use, home energy and grid. And then we will finish up the content part with an amazing keynote from actually an external startup from GBatteries, who actually were part of our program 3 on the topic of digitizing batteries for accelerated innovation. And maybe on the next slide, we can also see a general overview of the speakers today. Having here Anja and Katrin from Porsche, Sebastian and Carolin from Bosch. Then from GBatteries we have Kostya, and from the plug and play team we'll have Sascha, Alina, who will be moderating the startup sessions, as well myself. So really looking forward to this day, and I think without further ado, we would like to give it up to the welcoming words from Sebastian and Anja. Take it away.
Hello everyone, we are very happy to be co-hosting today's event together with Bosch. My name is Anja Mertens, I'm project lead for innovation management at Porsche. And at Porsche we are always aiming for performance, comfort and emotion. And our first fully electric model, the Taycan, showed how we translate these values to the future. But the future is already there. So in the first quarter of 2021 we already sold as many Taycan as we sell 911. And furthermore, in 2025, we are aiming to deliver 50% of our vehicles with an electric engine. But electrification in the automotive industry is not only a new type of engine. We're talking about a whole new category of product, a new user experience, and also new challenges, for example, in regards to network. So electrification is a challenge that cannot be achieved alone. To meet these challenges, we need creative collaboration and innovative impulses. And saying this, I cannot think of a better platform than Startup Autobahn for fostering these collaborations and these impulses. So I'm very happy, or we are very happy, to welcome the startups presenting today, to welcome all the participants and all the partners. And I'm also very happy to hand over to my colleague from Bosch, Sebastian, right now.
Hello everybody, warm welcome also from my side. My name is Sebastian Tietz and I'm responsible for open innovation and startup collaboration at Bosch. Electrification is a crucially important topic for Bosch that we invested in already for more than 10 years. Now we have quite a mature product portfolio, but it's a diverse ecosystem already that leaves a lot of space for collaboration with other partners. Now that we finally reached mass adoption of EVs, it is time now to solve the remaining challenges both on the user and also on the technology side, like battery longevity, range anxiety, and also charging on a long trip or at home. For all of these topics, we did a profound scouting together with Porsche and also with the startup Autobahn, of course, and saw more than 100 startups from these categories. For you and for all of us, we selected the most 10 promising startups that we present tonight. We wish you all an inspiring and exciting event. Enjoy the show and see you in the networking part of the meetup. Enjoy.
Hello everybody to our first hybrid meetup ever. Has been a long time since our last in-person event at Expo 7 and Selection Day, if you remember, in February 2020. Seemed so long ago. And really excited to have a chat or a beer with some of you later in person. And for the ones who are on virtually, this is all legit. We are all tested, Corona conform. We are a small group of 20 people only. So also this is a first hybrid test event, and as much as we want to go back 100% to the real world, we want to ensure that having a big reach virtually going forward and make it easy for the best startups from all over the world to connect to us. So we'll keep up this format hopefully. About the topic of battery tech. We had the same topic 3 years ago at the Webasto deep dive and meet up at their HQ in Stockdorf. It was one of the most exciting and memorable events for me, with international visitors all the way from India and the chairman and vice chairman, Holger and Matthias, great startups from all over the world. A lot of them found projects with our partners in the meanwhile. And it was a really fun and eclectic vibe. So let's continue this vibe today. So back then at Webasto, we asked the audience who owns an electric vehicle. And there was only one person in the entire audience of 200 people. So I like to repeat that question today. Please raise your hands, maybe with a virtual sticker. How many of you in the audience, in the virtual audience, have an electric vehicle? Please show me your hands. Is that possible virtually? I'm not sure. So as per the reactions, there is none, but we will follow up on that later. I think there's one again. All right, +1. All right, it keeps on going up. So this only shows how important the battery development in the automotive value chain, from materials to recycling and associate services is. I have to make a little confession. Don't boo me on this, but as opposed to what Anja just said, that there were a lot of electric vehicles, the same as conventional for Porsche. I still bought a conventional car 2 months ago, and most likely it will be my last car with a combustion engine. But I bought it because I'm living in an apartment building. It was too inconvenient for me to install a charging station, and not knowing what will happen with the battery once the car gets old, I just decided to get a conventional car. So I'm excited to see if some of the great tech we see today will help move the transition to electric vehicles faster, better, and more convenient. And lastly, this is my last opportunity to do some advertising for our upcoming Expo Day, which will be a 3-day event, July 21, 22, 23. Will be packed with content. We will showcase 29 POCs, have high-level panels, awesome keynotes. It will be a hybrid event as well. And we already received heads up from some of our partners and calculated we should have over 10,000 virtual visitors coming on those days. So this will be a record for our expo, and this will also be our anniversary expo after 5 years. So for now, enjoy the session today, and see some of you later for a beer downstairs, and back over to Adrian.
I'm already super excited for our Expo 10, which, as Sascha said, will be our anniversary edition. And now I do have the honor to tell you about our next, or actually our first keynote that we have prepared from Katrin Völkel, who's actually the Vice President of Procurement for Electrics and Electronics and Smart Mobility at Porsche. And she will give us a really insightful outlook on what the future of e-mobility holds and how Porsche aims to approach it.
Welcome to the Startup Autobahn. My name is Katrin Völkel, and I'm Vice President Procurement, Electric, Electronics and Smart Mobility at Porsche. Why is the future of e-mobility important for us? Because it fits perfectly into the Porsche strategy. Stop, rethink, act. The brand who follows its dreams. To make that more tangible with today's topic, the future of e-mobility. One important pillar of our strategy is sustainability in our products and supply chain. Me, as being from the purchasing department and knowing that the main part of added value is created by our supply chain and partners, it's totally clear. Zero emission factory at Porsche is a necessary statement to lead the way, but by far not the end. Second pillar, products. It's our goal to raise the proportion of vehicles with electric engines in our product portfolio to 50% until 2025 and even up to 80% by 2030. Third, transformation. The heart of every battery-engined vehicle is the high-voltage system, and where we have to consider a lot of influencing factors and need to think different. We changed the game. Porsche was and is a brand of extremes. How can it happen to have a zero-emission sports car, fast, long-distance range, enough space for passengers and suitcases? Short throw back. When we started with our Taycan, market and industry standard was on 400 volt. We thought different and changed the game with 800 volt. May become state-of-the-art technology. The whole customer journey counts. Other OEMs are talking about driving distance. We are talking about traveling time. Wouldn't it be nice having a break, drinking a coffee while your Porsche is charging in front of the restaurant and finally reaching your destination at the same time than others with a long-distance battery? To achieve the optimal traveling time, we have to make sure to have the perfect sportive high-voltage battery system. What makes us different? High maximum power, short charging time, and high amperage. What are the influencing factors that make that happen? Well, there are a lot. System development, packaging, weight, efficiency and cooling performance, safety, lifetime, then after sales and conformity. At the end, the perfect system is a combination of maximum efficiency weight and minimum charging time, and definitely combined with a perfect customer journey, finding charging points and enjoy the coffee break. Why do we need you? Well, stop, rethink, and act. But the more diversity is in the game, the more we can reach together. Porsche is a big family, probably more medium-sized than big enterprise, more Swabian than multicultural, but flexible, sportive, with a huge multicultural supply chain and partner network, and always watching out for good ideas, extremes, and even more flexible organizations. Coming back to the beginning, the brand who follows its dreams. We welcome everybody who's dreaming our dreams with us and is joining the transformation with good ideas. So let's change the game. Let's create tomorrow and have a productive startup Autobahn today. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And welcome also on behalf of my side. I'm Alina, also part here of the Startup Autobahn Ventures team. Sorry about the technical hiccups earlier. I think our systems are not really ready to go back to hybrid yet, but we definitely are, and we can't wait to see all of you. And it's actually cool to have some of our champions here in the back with us today already, and even more so to see them soon for our Expo Day. But of course, it's not just us who are really back at it and ready to get started again, but it's also the startups who never really stop to innovate. And it's actually been a really exciting 2 days. We had 10 startups here with us in total who pitched their ideas, presented their technologies, and really chatted with all of our partners about their technologies to see if there's potential for collaboration. And we're super excited to have them back here with us tonight. It's 10 startups from 6 different countries who will be pitching live on this virtual stage to you guys. And of course, as always, if you would like to get in touch with any of these or have further questions, the startups will be around at their Remo tables for networking after. And also, of course, you can always approach us if you would like to get in touch, and we'd be happy to make that connection. And yeah, I promised you live pitches. Unfortunately, the first startup is already on its way on the train to the next meeting, so they couldn't join us. But they've provided us with a great video telling us more about the technology. And it's actually a technology that kind of rewards you for shopping with range. If that sounds too good to be true, listen in and listen to Simon from Encharge.
Hi everybody, I'm Simon, one of the 3 founders of Encharge. So what do you need to know about Encharge? E-mobility is really now happening, and that means that a whole new EV ecosystem arises. And this EV ecosystem consists of several players. It's very complex. So it's all about building and operating charging infrastructure. It's about aggregating charging points, and it's about selling access and energy to the EV drivers. But the problem is that this is really commodity. Selling kilowatt hours is a commodity, is a kind of race to the bottom. And for that reason, we see a huge potential for completely new business models in EV ecosystem. And if we have a further look, you see that e-mobility takes place in all areas of life. You have private charging, you have semi-public charging, and you have public charging. And if you have a deeper look on e-mobility, you really see that charging currently is really about hurdles, struggles, constraints. Charging is costly, so there are a couple of questions from EV drivers that are not solved. Why is charging that expensive? What do I do while I charge my car? Can I rely on the charging station to be there to work? And of course, the availability. And exactly focusing on these questions, we have convincing answers with Encharge. We developed and invented a platform, an e-mobility platform that really brings answers to those questions. And we're focusing on 3 major pillars on the platform. First of all, we're focusing on loyalty, kind of decreasing the total cost of ownership, bringing cheaper charging to the people. Secondly, we're focusing on data and IT services, having a focus on reliability. We have crowdsourced data on the platform. And the third pillar is wallbox sharing. So this is all about private charging, where we kind of serve our platform as a marketplace and users can share the private charging station. So that's all about Encharge, to put it in a nutshell. So we are pretty much looking forward. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Simon. And yeah, next up, we actually have a local startup offering AI-powered video services called Digitizing. Antonia, are you there?
I'm there. Hi, Alina.
The floor is yours. Thank you.
So hi, everyone. My name is Antonia Zock. I'm CEO and co-founder of Digitizing intelligent video calls for remote support. Imagine this is your new electric car. It's nice, right? You probably have a lot of questions. How to charge the car, what wallbox is the best for you, who will do the installation, and what's exactly the price. So you will probably ask a lot of people. This will cost you a lot of time and even more nerves. And by the way, if your customer has this kind of negative experience, it will also be a pain point for companies. Imagine all you have to do is a 15-minute video call for remote inspection. During that video call, you will ask all your questions, you will get answers, and after all, you will receive an offer for the wallbox and for the installation. How will it look like? You will do a video call and you will actually show the way from the power distribution box to the place where you want to have the wallbox installed. All the required information is collected and saved. And furthermore, you will actually see how the wallbox will look like at your wall. After that call, you will receive a precise offer for the wallbox and for the installation. Our developed software actually is available on the market already. We provide for companies video remote support that they can actually provide their customers for any kind of service. If you buy the license from us, you will be able to do this video call with your customers. You can collect all the data, including making snapshots, record video snippets, and you can fill out a predefined formula. All the data you collect can be saved in a report that you can share with your colleagues, your customers, or your partners. In addition to that, if you want an exclusive service, we offer that we do the video calls for you and share with you the data. Customers like IVTex. And why is that? Because it's fast and it is easy. You have all data in one document. No app download is required. And with one click, the customer can start the video call. If you would like to offer this video remote experience to your customers, then IVTex is your right partner. We offer video calls for remote support. My name is Antonia Zock, and I'm very much looking forward to partnerships, pilot projects, and new customers. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Antonia. And yeah, our next startup that is here with us today is actually here to make the whole charging experience more engaging. And this startup is Blue Dot from San Francisco. Selinai, the stage is yours.
Everyone can hear me. So this is the question that we have asked a lot for last time. My name is Selinai, and I am one of the co-founders at the company and also leading the operations. And we are creating an engagement platform for charging stations. So as also one of the EV drivers, we know what we will be doing next while charging our cars. And these activities are ranging from eating something, reading, walking, sleeping, stretching, watching. And we have asked this question more than 800 users around, and see that one of the things that they have been doing was actually engaging with the activities around. So we started thinking, yes, this might create a great opportunity for businesses around. But the problem was these businesses doesn't know charging activity, how to connect the charging experience nearby with their services because of complicated management, owner and operator problem, and less engagement with the drivers. So it's the place that we are coming into ground. We help businesses to engage with the drivers, reduce their downtime time, earn money from their charging stations while engaging with them. So to do that, we have two different products and services. One of them is the Blue Dot management and engagement tool, along with the Blue Dot app. So with the Blue Dot management tool, you can operate and monetize your charging stations, basically schedule available time, check the performance and optimize, set the tariff. We also enable you with the easy payment process, but that's not just it. We also enable you to interact with the EV drivers, even if you don't have any parking lot around, but you can still advertise your location via our engagement tool and be part of our loyalty program while increasing dwell time and the basket size. So for example, here, this restaurant called Sula has 3 different charging stations nearby. And once people are charging in these locations, these blue locations, we actually advertise Sula for people to go there, eat something with different cashback programs. And we do this with the Blue Dot app, where people can discover charging stations while going there, collect some points, and use those points in the partner locations and the restaurants nearby, donate some trees, so that we can see the engagement, what's going on with these charging stations. And until now, more than 170K kilometers has driven with Blue Dot app, so we know where our drivers are starting their trip, where they're ending their trip, which areas has more density. And we are 3 co-founders, and my co-founders has a technical background, working in the automotive sector. Yeah, looking for new locations to engage with new generation drivers. So please feel free to connect in the networking time.
Thank you very much.
And as mentioned, Selena will be around for the networking later, so come see her at her table. And now up, we got a startup from Israel that is here to make the whole charging experience more seamless, cashless also. And I'm excited to ask Eileen here on stage to present their technology for EV Meter.
Thank you for the introduction, Alina. My name is Eileen. Can everybody see me? Okay, great. Okay, my name is Eileen. I'm the marketing manager at EV Meter. EV Meter is a NIAX subsidiary. NIAX was recently IPO'd at a value of $1.1 billion. And you might have heard of devices. They're a big player in the unattended retail market. They provide cashless payment solutions. And EV Meter was born out of a recognition that the current EV charging infrastructure is way too complex, too many RFID cards, too many applications to download and upload your credit card information in the freezing cold weather. And this is not the way that this field is going to explode the way we want it to. Sorry, I'm not sharing my deck. Here we go. So as I mentioned, NIAX develops cashless payment solutions, and we thought it would bring a lot of value to integrate these payment solutions to provide significant value for both EV drivers to simplify the charging experience and also optimize the revenue and the management involved in for operators. I'll walk you through our products. We first launched our commercial products. You could see the yellow devices here are the payment systems that support any type of payment method, as well as mobile wallets integrated with 70 different banks, and also is connected to this actual payment terminal is connected to the energy consumption and to a back-end system that's able to report all the performance of the charger to the operator. We have chargers for both type 1, type 2 for both the United States and European, according to the local regulations. Residential chargers, which is interesting. Our smart chargers are able to be installed on -5 storage. They have Wi-Fi capabilities and come with a really cool application that allows users to track the energy. They can remotely start and stop the charging. They can schedule charging at optimal rates at subsidized tariff hours. So it's always at their fingertips. So we
actually time's already up.
Okay.
I know really, but I think you will be at your table after if people have more questions, right?
So looking forward to networking and exploring potential collaborations.
Thank you. So are we. Thank you very much. Have a good networking evening. And I think you have to turn off the camera. And yes, there we go. Perfect. Welcome back. So last but not least, for the first round of pitches that we have today, we have a company from Munich called HeyCharge. So Chris, why don't you tell us more about your technology and what you're offering?
I have to push all the buttons in the right order, but hello, yes, hi, this is Chris. Let me just get the slides up here. Hopefully you're seeing it all, so let's get going. So hi, I'm Chris. I'm the founder and CEO of HeyCharge. We have the mission to enable charging of electric vehicles in apartment buildings. And we've invented a kind of a unique technology and strong product to make this possible. So 80% of electric vehicle charging will happen in private environments like apartment buildings and offices, and 46% of Europeans live in apartments. And our opportunity is democratizing access to the EV revolution for these 200 million people. But why is this difficult? Multi-user environments like homes and apartments require smart infrastructure, and reliability, complexity, and cost are traditionally prohibitive, but HeyCharge's technology and product solves this. So Secure Charge is what we call our underlying patent-pending technology that completely rethinks how chargers should communicate with cloud management systems. So we asynchronously relay cryptographic tokens through our mobile app, and we simultaneously solve problems including cost, installation scalability, and usability. and there's just no infrastructure side internet connection on our chargers. It's all securely, but it's still all securely managed through our cloud platform. So if you apply this to the challenge areas I described, on reliability, our platform works flawlessly even in an underground car park where there's no mobile network. On complexity, our hardware is plug and play, so instead of an army of technicians, you can have a single electrician with no special training. And finally, our solution is cheaper because we strike all the communications hardware and the heavyweight embedded processor from the BOM. We make the site setup super fast, and we eliminate the operating cost of the internet connection. So we provide a range of hardware supporting secure charge, everything from a user installable smart plug to a full Type 2 wall box. The middle of the range is Access Point. This is a hardwired smart outlet control module. This provides a really unique value and price point of less than 300 euros per user. And we have a hardware module that can enable any third-party wall box to participate in our platform with our software. So that's all the 2 minutes allows. I hope I made it, but I hope I've left time for some good discussion on our networking table as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Chris from Reichert, and of course, thank you also to the rest of the startups. Great to have you, and of course, also big up to my colleague Alina for the great moderation in between. And now we do have our second speaker, who we're super lucky to involve. Her name is Carolin Reichert, and she is the VP of Connected Mobility Services, e-mobility at Bosch. And I was already really glad to see her in the deep dive meetings today, so that was awesome. And now I'm even more happy to now listen to her talk, how actually Bosch approaches the topic of connected services for EVs. And without further ado, take it from here, Carolin.
Yeah, thank you very much, Adrian. I hope you share my presentation. Is that true, or do I need to share it?
We're sharing it.
You are sharing it? Super. Yeah, first of all, thank you very much for inviting to this great event. And for me, it's very important because we as a Bosch, we are a tanker. And for us, it's very important to get in touch with startups and also collaborate with startups. So that's why I think this is a good networking thing. And I want to concentrate today what we are doing here in the field of electric connected services for electric vehicles, that you feel where we have some collaboration points. Maybe next slide. So for Bosch, electrification is really a hot topic. And our market expectations are really significant. So what you see here is we expect that by 2025 in Europe and China, we see about 40% of all new cars being electric, and most of them battery electric. So that means not the plug-in hybrids, but battery electric cars. And this is, of course, also driven by the regulation. Next slide, please. Yeah, and together with the electrification, of course, also connected service becoming more and more important. Why? Because basically 100% of all electric cars are connected. We see new EE architectures in the vehicles, allowing the processing and operating of more data volumes and enabling also for new AI-based technologies. We have a lot of new incumbents in the field, like, of course, Tesla, everybody knows, really providing a fully digital customer experience, so others are forced to follow. Then we have, of course, the topic of charging, which is one of our focus of topics today, and which is also a field where we are active. And then, of course, last not least, we need connected services for the commercialization of electric vehicles, because the commercialization of electric vehicles is strongly TCO, total cost of ownership driven. So we have to also use connectivity in order to improve total cost of ownership of cars. Next slide, please. Now I would like to give you an overview what we are doing in the terms in the field of charging. So we have a strong focus on the public charging. So we provide basically charge point access across the world with focus on Europe, North America and Asia Pacific, but we have also partners in China, so we have a global approach. We are at the moment consolidating 240,000 charge points in Europe and more than 450 charge point operators. And together with North America and Asia Pacific, we provide basically access to more than 500,000 charge points. And of course, we provide all the services around. That means 24/7 hotline, payment, invoicing. We enable all kind of flexible business models. But this is not enough, because in order to get a real good user experience, you also need the first part, the vehicle integration and the IVI integration. So we need to provide a seamless integration between the companion app of the vehicle with the navigation system and in the car. We may have also interaction with the thermal management of the battery to allow high power charging and to really get the power which is promised by the OEM. So the vehicle integration is something where we as Bosch are very strong. And then we have the value-added service part. Here we see a strong field of collaboration with startups. So it could be digital concierge services with personalized recommendations on what are you going to do while charging. It could be V2G applications and these kind of things. We have seen a lot of interesting business models today. So here in this field, we are very much open to collaborate. And then we are also providing a charge point management system serving charge point operators. Next slide, please. Yeah, as mentioned, we have a global coverage, which is absolutely important to be seen as a partner to the global OEMs. So that means we are providing charging access to public charging infrastructure in Europe, North America, and Asia Pacific. In Europe, we have the full value chain. In North America and Asia Pacific, we are collaborating with key partners. Next slide, please. In terms of the value chain, from hardware installation, service, energy, charge point operation, we cover especially the part of charge point management system. We have partnerships with all important roaming players. We provide the charge point access, which I already mentioned, and we also provide value-added services, and we have collaborations with leading map and navigation providers, so being able to really ensure a seamless integration between app and map and navigation system. The ecosystem is continuously growing. We have now cooperations with more than 450 charge point operators, some startups, and also the roaming platforms, as well as here as map and navigation provider. Next slide, please. Yeah, and that is basically a competitor comparison. So along the key KPIs, which are constantly requested by the car manufacturers. So here we are very strong, as mentioned, in the vehicle integration. So, for example, we can offer a OEM-defined user journey. We can provide vehicle-specific range predictions with very high accuracy based on dynamic vehicle models. We have a route planner for EV, with including EV stops. We can integrate with the thermal management system, and of course seamless integration with the IVI. And of course we are compliant to all standards which are upcoming. One of the most important is of course the plug and charge. And also in the other KPIs, in the commercial KPIs, we are very well positioned, especially with our coverage and the global setup. So this is basically what we do with charging. And now I would like to focus on another topic. Maybe we go to the next slide, please. As mentioned, one of the other key performance, one of the other drivers for connected services related to electric vehicles is, of course, the TCO management. As we know, the high voltage battery is the most important component in a vehicle, and also the most unknown component in the vehicle. We have seen also some startups in this area today with very interesting approaches. So also here, open for collaboration. And what we have is basically the digital twin of a high voltage battery. Maybe we go to the next slide. And this, of course, targets to improve the battery performance lifetime, and with that, of course, that also the total cost of ownership. And this is important because many of the new electric vehicles are not sold but leased, so total cost of ownership is becoming more and more important. What we do is we have a so-called software development kit installed in the vehicle, gathering and pre-processing battery data, high volumes, a high frequency of battery data, which we transfer then via the cloud of the OEM customer to our Bosch cloud. In our cloud system, we are performing different algorithms and models, combining in a hybrid way AI-based approaches with electrochemical approaches to optimize, as mentioned, the performance and the lifetime of the battery. We also provide a feedback loop into the vehicle. So, for example, we are optimizing the charging curve because charging is one of the most important stress factors. And last but not least, we are also offering a lifetime monitoring system and a usage certificate. And with that, I would like to go to the almost final slide. So the usage certificate, if you could go to the next slide, please. So the usage certificate, which we provide, we developed together with the VDE. Here we see a big opportunity and a big need for standardization. We already see that the European Union requests as an obligation from the OEMs to provide a digital battery passport. We have basically developed a solution for that together with the VDE. And of course, here in that battery usage certificate, which is available in any kind of front end, we are also providing the most important, the usage, the historic usage. We also provide a prediction of the remaining lifetime, which is very important, of course, for the remarketing. And of course, we ensure that the data is processed in a manipulation-free way. And with that, I would like to go to the last slide. So I'm really glad to be here, and we are constantly looking for collaborations, because also we as Bosch, as a big tanker, we know that some of the startups are faster in some areas. So we specifically look for collaboration partners with startups in the area of charging service, for example, user experience, loyalty program, access to further ecosystems, but also smart charging, V2G, energy cost optimization is interesting for us. And on the battery service, we are also interested in exchanging on algorithms, AI-based algorithms to optimize battery health and lifetime. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you, Carolin, for this amazing presentation of what Bosch will have to offer in the future. Already really excited to see what we can expect for the future. And when I'm reading all these points, I think how we like to say, we hit the nail on the head with the customer experience topics. But now we will shift the focus to the more technical, nitty-gritty battery tech startups. And I would like to start and welcome Kai on stage. Kai is the co-founder and managing director of Acure, a spin-off from the RWTH in Aachen. And I already was able to hear your pitch earlier, so I'm really excited to hear it again on your battery prediction algorithms. Please, stage is yours.
Thank you. And also, honestly, the biggest thank you of all to Carolin, who just did my job. The last 3 minutes that you spent on describing, the benefits and also challenges of battery online diagnostics in what you call the battery in the cloud. This is what we do at Acure. I can give you a few examples on how that looks in reality. And this should work. Oh yeah, this is a great effect. So we call it the operating system of a battery world, but you will see a few similarities, I believe. The one thing I think we can all agree on is what importance batteries have and will have for our zero carbon energy and mobility future. And these are all huge numbers, but just thinking, in a physics first world, batteries are the only way to fully electrify both our mobility and our electricity systems, and making sure that they run safely, reliably, and for a long age is so crucial, and we should do everything we can to do that. And at Accure, we're doing that with software, because batteries, as you know, don't always work as planned. That can be inefficiencies, that can be failures, that can be fires. We've seen so many recalls just in the last 6 months alone: Hyundai, Kia, LG Chem, General Motors, and making sure that batteries work as intended is really at the heart, of OEM companies and tier ones. And I don't have as pretty graphics as Bosch, but I believe it brings over what we do. We are a battery cloud platform, insanely powerful, I want to say. So calculating 200 or 300 terabytes of data in 90 minutes is everyday business for us. We're prepared to scale big. And by understanding how the batteries work in the field using advanced diagnostics and such things, we can go into warranty management, we can go into optimization, resale value / second life. We have an insurance product already on the way, and we were actually able to predict and prevent 3 battery fires this year alone with our platform. And so super happy to see where we can have synergies, who's a specialist in what field of that. And one more thing, if anyone is interested, we actually just this week published a long read on this whole topic of battery field diagnostics. It's not an advertisement for Accure, it's really just a technical description of it. You can find it on Medium, and I'll also post a link to the blog in the chat. Thank you.
All right, Kai, let's see if I have the time to read through this paper on the weekend. I probably understand only half of it, but thank you. Yes, the next startup that's actually gonna pitch is GridX. GridX is a startup from Munich, and with their Xenon platform, they provide an interface to all energy appliances. And I would like to ask Philip on stage to present GridX. Philip, the next 2 minutes are yours. Here we go.
Thank you so much, Johannes. Let me quickly put on my slides, and then we are good to go. I'm incredibly excited to introduce you today to GridX. What GridX is doing, we are an energy cloud scale-up founded in 2016, and we already formed close partnerships with leading European companies within the energy sector. What we are exactly doing with our partners is we are enabling them to master the challenges associated with the energy transition towards electrification and decentralization. Specifically, we develop smart energy management solutions for and with our partners. These smart energy management solutions can cover a broad scope within the energy market, and we are able to do so by not providing standardized solutions off the shelf, but by always consulting our partners first, and either we are customizing new solutions from scratch on our Xenon platform, or we are also able to connect our Xenon platform with the existing infrastructure of our partners with an API access in order to complement and supplement their existing product portfolio where the need be the highest. The overarching aim here is at the end customer side to reduce electricity costs as well as CO2 emissions, and on our partner side to maximize customer lifetime value. That is what we also did with our partner Viessmann. Viessmann used to only provide their heating hardware appliances to the end customers, but with the aid of GridX, they are also able today to provide a digital end customer interface that intelligently steers also manufacturer independent PV panels, storages, as well as EV charging stations for the residential customers. And thereby Critics was able to, Critics enabled Viessmann to generate more than 25 million euros in 2020 alone. With our partner E.ON, we enabled E.ON to develop their own smart charging solution that is currently being brought to C&I customers across Europe, exactly to 11 European countries currently. And the product itself is continuously being scaled up as well as expanded in terms of integrations of, for instance, PV panels as well as storages. I hope that I was able to arouse your interest. I think my time is over now, and I'm more than happy to receive any questions you may have at our table in a second. Thank you so much for your attention.
Thank you, Philip. Our next guest startup is Jetlyx. They are Dutch startups founded 2015 in Rotterdam. Ruben is going to present for them, and Jetlyx is making sure that you charge your EV actually with green energy. So how this works, we will hear from Ruben. 2 minutes, Ruben, stage is yours.
Thanks. Thanks for having me here. Screen as well. Yeah. Let me check. Yeah, at Jetlyx, we want to make zero emission charging the norm for all electric cars. This is why we have developed a cloud-based platform that enables car OEMs and utilities for scalable smart charging services. We support a wide range of connected solutions from chargers to cars directly, and we are the leading party to use the connectivity for this purpose. This integration are bundled into an EV virtual power plant that handle a wide range of flexibility use cases, all working automatically with our white label app and API for external apps. This is what makes us different from other players in the e-mobility and smart charging domain. Our platform has the broadest reach to connect almost every car or charger and is already integrated with multiple leading energy players in 7 countries. With one single platform integration, we enable car OEMs to unlock revenue generating smart charging services in multiple countries directly. With our ecosystem, we create a network effect that is beneficial for the energy and for the mobility market. Smart charging with Jetlyx is a win-win business model for all involved stakeholders. We share the revenue with our partners, and this allows them to lower the cost for their EV drivers. And in doing so, we also support the integration of renewable energy and EVs on the grid. Our ambition is to reach 1 million EVs on our platform by 2025, and we invite you all of you to join our initiative to make this collective impact. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ruben. Great. So the last startup of our second batch is Qnovo, and we are joined by Nadim. Nadim, could I please ask you on stage? And Qnovo is actually building charging algorithms to diagnose battery aging, and then use these algorithms to reduce battery wear and maximize its life. But I will give it up to the expert to explain you how this works. Nadim, the stage is yours.
Good morning or good afternoon, everyone. I'm struggling with sharing the screen, so I'm just going to talk through it. So we've heard quite a bit of stuff today about electrification and charging, but there's still one major issue that we see recently, and that is if you're the VP of procurement at a car company, thank you. Or if you're the VP of engineering at a car company, the last thing you want to be is headline news in the Wall Street Journal. And that creates a major headache in terms of how do you guarantee the health and the safety of the vehicles going forward. Our belief is that the battery does not live in the cloud. The battery lives under your feet, under your seat. And that means you have to be responsible for the battery's health and its safety right there in the vehicle. It has to be self-sufficient to guarantee that optimization of the vehicle. Our view, however, also is, if we can move to the next slide, please. Next slide, please. So while these fires, okay, that's fine, that's good. We can stick here. So while we believe that the battery health is important, you have to find ways to predict these things ahead of time. And that's what we do. We work directly with the car makers to guarantee that the issues and the aging and the defects in the batteries are caught and isolated well in advance, long before they become a headache. Along the way, that same intelligence also gives the car makers and the end user many other benefits, from optimizing health when you do very fast charging, to increasing your warranty. If you try to add to a fleet certain additional warranty requirements, you need to have intelligence on the vehicle to do that. Also, when it comes to cost, today EVs are very expensive, and we need to reduce the cost of the battery, and one way to do that is by getting optimal use of the capacity in the battery, which we have failed to do in the past. So all of those in aggregate is what we do for the car vendors. We do it with intelligence and software in the vehicle itself. Thank you.
All right. Thanks to the second batch of the guest startups. I guess I'm looking here for Adrian to join me on stage. There he is. Yeah, I'll give it up to the moderation master himself. Take it, Adrian.
Well, thank you very much, Johannes. For once, I also wanted to maybe took a little bit of my time. But yes, thank you very much to all of the 10 startups that pitched today or sent in their pitch via virtual form. As you all know, as Plug and Play, we are more than happy to connect you to the pitching startups, to also organize maybe follow-up meetings, to have more deeper discussions about potential use cases on a common pilot project together. And with that part being wrapped up, we do have one final highlight, which is an external keynote by actually one of our program startups way back from GBatteries. I think they were part of our program 3. And we do actually have the CEO and co-founder, Kostya Khomutov, present to give a presentation about the topic digitizing batteries for accelerated innovation. And I'm really looking forward to hear him talk, as GBatteries is one of the literally game-changing startups in the area of fast charging. And I think with that, I'll give it over to you, Kostya. Take it away.
Thank you so much. I hope you can hear me all right.
Yes.
Let me share. Perfect. Thank you. Let me share my screen. All right. So once again, thank you so much for the invitation. It's a huge pleasure to be back here. I think we were one of the cohorts back in 2017. So it's always great to be part of the community, also great to be part of the family of Startup Autobahn. I'd like to talk to you, as I have been just presented, about digitizing lithium-ion batteries. It's no secret, and throughout the whole day today, we've been talking about how electrification of transportation will add a huge value to our society, and most importantly, to the environment that we live in. What we believe and feel that electrification will enable us for the impact of greenhouse gas emissions or the climate change that we're experiencing, by devastating fires that we have observed last year, or the floods, or the record that were recorded in Antarctica. But besides the fundamentals of our planet Earth, also tremendous joy in driving electrical vehicles. Unfortunately, the driving force, accelerated adoption of electrical vehicles, actually comes from batteries. It dictates, how fast are we going to drive, how fast are we going to charge, how far are we going to drive, and for how long till we're going to have to replace either the car or the battery itself. Currently, lithium-ion batteries, as we envision this, are being operated like an analog device. Perhaps in the context of automation and vehicles in general, Probably it's more appropriate to say it's the correlation between carburetors and injector vehicles, or engines for that matter. So let me explain a little bit more. Let's go back to 1859, when the first internal combustion engine was introduced and put on the road as a commercial. Since then, engineers worked tirelessly, around the clock, working on trying to perfect that engine, improve performance, fuel consumption, speeds, working on the metal alloys, working all over the place just to make that performance much better. And it took roughly about 100 years before the first intelligent fuel injection system was introduced. And instantly, we have received a multifold improvement on performance of those engines. 1991 is when the first commercial lithium-ion battery was introduced at mass scale. And even then, and even 30 years later, we are still using the charging protocols that are much older than the introduction of those batteries. So the bottom line here is that we believe, and as we understand, that that's kind of equivalent to this analog usage of the batteries. So let me explain a bit further. Batteries, lithium-ion batteries, consists of two electrodes that are submerged in electrolyte with the separator in between. Well, the majority of mainstream lithium-ion batteries at least. And what happens when we charge batteries, the ions are starting to flow from one electrode to another. The faster we charge the batteries, the faster the ions are flowing, the more traffic we are creating on the inside of the battery cell. And that traffic is starting to prevent that transfer of ions that it was initially intended for. And as a result, it's starting to increase internal resistance of the battery, starting to increase temperature, and ultimately relates to the accelerated degradation or accelerated irreversible chemical reactions that happen using the batteries. Those that will dictate that life, that range, that speed of charge, and overall performance of the batteries. But can you imagine if we could potentially monitor what is that flow of ions, see them in real life, and help digest that traffic? In other words, if we could send ions in bursts and give them sufficient amount of time to take the chemical reaction safer, without anybody pushing on them from the back, it would improve the performance of batteries. It would reduce that internal resistance, it would reduce that temperature, and at the end of the day, it would reduce that irreversible chemical reaction effect, as we just discussed before. And of course, let me show you how this actually looks in the real world. So here you're looking at the commercial grade electrical vehicle, electrical scooter, Xiaomi. Off the shelf, what we did is we replaced the charging port for that scooter, so to accommodate for a higher energy throughput. We connected it to a battery cycler, because it's better to charge and discharge within one unit, so you don't need to drive it around. Scooter is designed to charge within 5 hours, with demonstrating an ability to charge it under 10 minutes. Granted that this scooter, this 5 hours design charge, can be charged faster than conventional ways. We actually were able to push it to about 40-45 minute charge, but beyond that point, we're starting to see that accelerated degradation of the battery. In our case, we demonstrated with digitizing and analyzing that battery in real time enables us to achieve a much better performance of the battery as a speed of charge, the life, the overall performance of the battery. What I would like to leave the audience with, and perhaps call everybody for it, and especially in the last session here with so much innovation and improvement on batteries and the data about the batteries, I'd like to call everybody to digitize the electric future, and let's do it together. Thank you so much for your time, and as I've said, it's a pleasure to be here, and good luck to all of the companies that have pitched today.
Thank you so much, Kostya, for this really. It was great seeing you again, and we're looking forward to also, of course, working with you in the future. And I can really underline what you just said in the end, that we really should digitize together. So, and with that, I think on point, we are already in the closing ceremony of today's meetup. But of course, I just want to show you again what amazing deep dives and meetups we had in our program 10, in our anniversary edition. starting with future of cities, then going on with the circular economy, and of course today, the future of mobility one with driving and electrification. I hope that you all had a lot of fun and are already as excited as I am for Expo number 10. Really, really looking forward to this one. It's going to be a 3 days event, somehow hybrid, second day virtual, third day as well, but really, really looking forward to our first hybrid event where we can come together, at least a little bit, our ecosystem, and celebrate our pilot projects, celebrate our POCs, and of course, most and foremost, celebrate our community. So yes, check it out. You see the Expo website, Expo 10 website there. And with that, I would say happy networking. Thank you very much again to Bosch and Porsche for being amazing co-hosts. I hope that you enjoyed today's session, and I can't wait to network with you now. And that's official. Goodbye from the Arena 2036. And now see you in the part of the virtual networking. Take care, everyone.